I'll just say this. Last night when I was doing my video podcast, which was supposed to be for this morning, but I just felt compelled to do it last night. While I was doing the video podcast last night, I noticed like at the 23rd minute, the screen just froze. The screen just froze. And I wouldn't say I'm irritated by it or pissed off by it. I was actually amused by it because although the screen was frozen, the minutes was going by like 20 minutes, 20, 21, 22 in terms of the seconds just going by and flowing by. But in terms of the information I said, which I might reiterate in this video podcast, is like it won't be the same as last night with the same passion, with the same. It just won't be the same. So I'm just going to redo this video podcast in the best way I can because I believe this video podcast will be a better podcast than last night. So welcome to the current situation, Manchester United. It's as you can tell, it's a Friday overcast morning, and just to get into things, because we don't want to waste any time. Let's not stand on ceremony. Manchester United, in terms of transfers, has been. It's all about paper talk and no walk. It's just paper talk. People need to eat, so they're writing about Manchester United in terms of transfers, but there's no actually signing. Like if you look at Liverpool, at least Liverpool. If you look at Manchester City, if you look at Brighton, if you look at Crystal Palace, they have made signings to enhance and bolster their squad for the upcoming season, the up and coming season. And Manchester United is still banking on Jadon Sancho, which looks, I mean, uh, with the static enthusiasm of Jadon Sancho coming to Manchester United, it looks in doubt because according to Borussia Dortmund, I believe that's pronounced Borussia Dortmund. Well, I'm no German, so you have to excuse my vernacular. But according to his club, that's Dortmund, it has stated that he's going to sign a new contract, which would lead him up to at least 2023. Now, I don't know how true that stands because I don't know how reliable their sources is. But don't be surprised if Jadon Sancho stays at not say that Manchester United because he's not in Manchester United. Don't be surprised if he stays at Dortmund instead of coming to Manchester United. Because with Manchester United getting top three football and Champions League football, Jadon Sancho, Manchester United needs to be attracting top players for the up and coming season. Now the top players equates automatically equates to you having a very good season. But I'm saying because we got Champions League football, we need Champions League type players with the information, with the style of play and tactics, so that we can win trophies for next season. Because that's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. Manchester United hasn't won the Premier League for almost 8 years. 8 years. And we don't want to become like an Arsenal. We don't want to become like a Liverpool that had to wait until Donald Trump was in the White House to win the Champions League. Not the Champions League. Well, the Champions League too, but primarily Premier League I'm talking about. We don't want to wait until after 30 years to win the Premier League. Let's not do that. United needs to bolster their squad. I don't know how we're going to do it, but in terms of because the Premier League is due to start back in less than a month. And Manchester United has no signings whatsoever. There have been paper talk. Oh, Manchester United has agreed a deal with this youngster, but we don't see him unveiled as a United player. I'm yet to wait on that day. The Manchester United has been linked with Gabriel, who plays as a left centre back. I like to believe because I don't watch Lille that much, but he plays for Lille in France, or France, I should say. He plays in France, and United, not only United, but Arsenal is interested in that centre back. Like Arsenal wants to, bolster their defense as should we, of course, because we've been leaking out lethargic goals that shouldn't have been scored. Speaking of defenders, not to go on a long digression. Oh, speaking of digression, in this video podcast, I'm going to be going on different tangents, different crescents, different streets of Manchester United news in totality. So everything will be based on Manchester United, but I'm going to go in different situations as relates to Manchester United. So stay in tune with that. That's just my disclaimer as you watch this video forward. Back to what I was saying. Manchester United needs to bolster their defense. Brandon Williams has been getting harsh criticism as of late, especially as it relates to his goal that people say it was his fault. Like, for example, the goal that Sousa scored against Manchester United in the EuroLeague semi-finals. Personally, I don't believe that's his fault because I don't think he could have done anything right there. The ball whipped into the box, across the box. Brandon Williams couldn't get to it. Fernando Sousa finished it with a one-time touch. And that was out of Brandon Williams, out of his control. That was based on David De Gea, which I'm going to get into. Which that was based on David De Gea's mistake. That's David De Gea. That's based on David De Gea. Now I believe that the centre back should have been at fault or irresponsible for not being responsible enough for clearing that ball that came into the box. But I'm talking about Brandon Williams. I don't think that's his fault right there. I don't. I. That's out of his control, bro. But based on Brandon Williams, I don't think this dude should be starting as a left back for Manchester United next season. We should be winning the Premier League next season. We cannot allow Liverpool to be winning the league when we're not winning the league. That defies logic. We should be winning the league next season. Sides are looking to strengthen their squad. Manchester City are looking to rebuild in their squad. And Man City has squad depth. So if they have decent squad depth but they want to strengthen their squad, that is some telling because we don't have quality squad depth of players. We have squad depth, but it's not quality players. It's quantity of squad depth, but it's not quality squad depth players. Like we think of Jesse Lingard, we think of Andres Pereira, we think of Phil Jones, we think of Eric Bay, we think of Timothy Fosu-Mensah, we think of Igalo, we think of players that are not really top quality players, but they're decent, but they're not quality players. Like for example, if there are players that in your starting squad get injured, these are not some of the players you would want to start as just second stringer. If your top players, if your starting players, if your first string players get injured. That's my point. So as it relates to Brandon Williams, Manchester United needs to invest in a left back for next season. A left back for next season. Someone that will challenge Luke Shaw. Someone that will challenge Luke Shaw in the left back position. Now I mentioned David De Gea because it has made clear to me, even previously I should say, that Dean Henderson is going to sign a new contract for Manchester United that would be worth 100k per week, 100,000 euros, not euros, pounds per week because he plays in England, right? But and this is my take on it. Not David because his name is not David. Dean Henderson should be starting in the Premier League next season. He should be starting in the Premier League next season. This dude is 23 years old and he is young. He should be getting down and dirty. He should be playing games in Premier League on a regular basis, frequently. David De Gea on the other end, since we have Champions League football, he should be playing in the Champions League because he's a Champions League quality goalkeeper. So, as it relates to delineating the difference between Dean Henderson and David De Gea, David De Gea's playground should be in the Champions League for next season. On the other end, Dean Henderson should be playing in the Premier League next season. That's how we should dissect the two. Hold on. Okay. That's how we should be dissecting and differentiating the two goalkeepers for next season. We have four goalkeepers. Hold on, we have like five goalkeepers, including Joel Pereira, but he won't be starting nowhere next season. But we have four professional goalkeepers. Well, Joe is professional, but he's not in the you know what I'm saying. David De Gea, Dean Henderson, Lee Grant, who is like a retiree that's on pension, he's still a player, but he doesn't play not nearly. And we have Sergio Romero, who has been said to leave Manchester United. Because this is the dude we should have started in the EuroLeague semi-finals. But based on sentimental reasons, based on probably he thought that David De Gea was a better candidate I should say, to start in the semi-finals at EuroLeague. My man said, "Okay, David, you know what I'm saying, you're going to start in the semi-finals because we know that you're the better goalkeeper, and because you're the better goalkeeper, we better get out at the semi-finals into the finals." When it was not so. That was not the show. David De Gea conceded in the semi-finals due to his mistake. And I believe that if Romero started in goal, that mistake would not have seen the light of day. Would not see the light of day. So with that said, I think David, going back to what I said, Dean Henderson should be starting in the Premier League exclusively. Exclusively and primarily. In the Champions League, David De Gea. In the uh in the Carabao Cup, Sergio Romero, with the hybrid of Lee Grant, if he could be bothered, because again that dude is a retiree that's just living on pension right now. But that's just that's how I would dissect the four goalkeepers of Manchester United. Yeah. Speaking of defense, like I told you guys, I'll be all over the place. I'm like this journalist that's speaking of Manchester United news. So the latest we have in Manchester United is that Harry Maguire, Manchester United's captain, has been in Greece getting his ass kicked. Now, bro, I told you already that I believe that Bruno Fernandes should be Manchester United's captain next season. But it makes no sense for you to go into Greece to make a fool out of yourself, to make a Grammy out of yourself, to look like, hey, I'm the better captain of Manchester United, so I'm going to get in a fist pump with some police officers in Greece. You don't have to make yourself a fool like that, bro. We know that you're a slobhead, we know that you're a fringe. So you don't need to infringe us to believe that you need to be Manchester United's captain for next season. Well, not David here, because I'm finishing this story right now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might still make us captain, but that doesn't mean you should act out to show that you're captain material for Manchester United. No, you don't need to do that, bro. That's not what captains are all about. No, I can't speak for boxing captains, but I'm talking about football captains. Football captains don't use their fists, they use their feet to play football. You see? And as relates to centre backs, Harry Maguire will be starting next season. I think that's a given because he's a slabhead like that. But as relates to Gabriel being linked to Manchester United, I think that guy should be slotted in at left centre back. Harry Maguire starting as right centre back, and Lindelof getting like a squad depth, a squad role. Like I believe Lindelof is quality, but I just don't think Lindelof is going to be starting if you get another left centre back with Harry Maguire on the bench when Harry Maguire is our captain. I don't think that makes sense. Speaking of midfield, as I told you guys that Matic is a player that is on the fringes of being a retiree. Like he's 2 steps away. He's two steps shy from being a retiree. Like this dude should be in an infirmary home down the street. We need a replacement, if not another signing, to not only replace Nemanja Matic, but a signing that will start when Nemanja Matic cannot play. This dude cannot play over 30 games next season. At least not in our competition. I believe Nemanja Matic should be starting in the Champions League and the Premier League, but not everything in totality. I mean, he should not be playing all 90 minutes games. He should be starting games and coming off like at the first hour, like in the 60th minute, in the 70th minute, if he has like a gram of energy to bring him that far. But Manchester United, need a defensive midfielder to replace him that is quality enough by the style of play that we're playing by. Whether it's we want a N'Golo Kante type of defensive midfielder, or we want a midfielder that is defensive but is not really quick on the floor, like he doesn't cover grounds that quickly as the N'Golo types of defensive midfielders. Whether it could be Declan Rice, it could be Ndidi. Ndidi has a hybrid of both qualities. Like he can cover the ground quickly, but he also can cover. You see? So I think Ndidi, I don't think he's been linked to Manchester United, but I think there has to be a defensive midfielder that replaces Nemanja Matic for next season. Because I don't think Scott McTominay is a viable candidate to be starting at defensive midfielder. Because I told you guys already, if we're starting Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba next season, we have to have a reason for next season to be starting up as a certified defensive midfielder at the base. Scott McTominay is a box-to-box midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box midfielder that happens to place in defensive midfield at some point, at sometimes I should say. With Fred now, I don't think Fred. I mean, Fred has the legs as it relates to the uh the types of defensive midfielders like N'Golo Kante, but I don't think Fred has the physicality and capabilities to be playing as a lone centre back, low centre defensive midfielder, I should say. Alone, I don't think so. I believe even if he's accompanied by Paul Pogba as a double pivot, as in a 4-2-3-1 formation with Pogba and Fred, I don't think that's enough. Because Fred in his own right, not Fred, Pogba in his own right is not a defensive midfielder. He can play defensive mid, but that's not his main bread and butter. That's not his claim to fame. That's not his game. That's not his game. This dude should be playing, Paul Pogba, yes, he should be playing as a double pivot, but just understand that he needs to be accompanied by a certified, with a PhD, master degree, of course, in defensive midfield position. That's the person he needs to be accompanied by. Not no, player that can play that role. That's not enough to win a Premier League title. I believe, as relates to Jadon Sancho's, again, I told you guys that I'll be all over the place. I'm like a scattered box, right? I believe Jadon Sancho should be a United player in the upcoming weeks. To my disappointment and to my somewhat surprise, we started being linked with Jadon Sancho, and then we dropped down to we relegated ourselves to the relegated side of Bournemouth, being linked to their player, being linked to a relegated side player known as David Brooks. Now I've never seen this player kick a football or play football. I never seen that before. Never seen that before. So I believe Jadon Sancho should still be pursued because we have Champions League football and we deserve Champions League football players. We don't deserve relegated players that were relegated with their relegated side in the relegation league to be linked with relegated players. We can do better than that. United needs to up their standards. We don't need to have a stagnated squad. We need to uplift and upgrade our squad. Because players, yes, we need to sign players, but players need to leave out of the door through Manchester United. For example, Andres Pereira, Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones should have left like a decade ago, but somehow he's still on grace period. So, speaking of grace period, Manchester United against Burnley game has been postponed. And speaking of grace period, I believe the Premier League FA was like, bro, we know you haven't made any signings as yet. We're going to play the Good Samaritan role and we're going to give you a couple days to get your signings in order. We're going to postpone this fixture for you guys, but we expect you to have at least two or three signings, or we're going to allow you to play whoever you're going to play next, whether it's to your liking or to your disliking. We're going to give you a grace period to get some signings before you play the first game for the Premier League season. Again, that's what I think, but you know me. Um, say Manchester United game against Burnley has been postponed. So yeah, I think Manchester United has been given grace period to get at least a couple signings, at least based on my idea and thoughts that yeah, in the next game, which won't be the next game because it has been postponed, but United has been given some time to get a few players because it's going to just be like next season. It's going to be like next season, but different days on the calendar. We cannot do that. We need to uplift our squad. We need a left back, a left centre back, a defensive midfielder, another left winger, and yeah, oh, and a right winger, yes. So that's like five signings we need at bare minimum, to be our prerequisite proper side to win the Premier League next season. That's what we need. The standards we need is like at least 3 to 5 signings, 3 to 5 signings, and guess how much we have made so far? Just an egg. That's all. Just an egg we have. Just an egg we have. Speaking of that defense, I believe some persons, it's apparently been clear to me that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not in favor of Diego Dolo next season as a right back. There have been a few instances, few situations by linkages from the club that said Diego Dolo will be on his exit lane through the club. Like the club is going to sell him. My thought is that that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. Manchester United are going to lick their wounds twice if they sell a player like Diogo Dolo. We have seen with at least couple. Speaking of me, 3 to 5. We have seen at least 3 players to 4 players leave Manchester United. Didn't perform at Manchester United, but when they left Manchester United, they performed. Angel Di Maria, Memphis Depay, Romelu Lukaku. That's a bare minimum of 3, and who else? Other players I'm missing right now because I've been caught in the moment. So those 3 players performed better prior to uh being at their club right now. Like when they were at Manchester United, they didn't perform as they are doing now. Speaking of players that left Manchester United but left for the betterment for their career, do you know that there are at least 5 players, speaking of me talking about 3 and 5, do you know there are at least 5 players that are in domestic finals right now? I don't know if domestic is the right word, but they're in finals today, which is Friday, based on my end, and on Sunday, which is the 23rd of August, based on my end, because time zones are different. The Champions League final on Sunday, and the EuroLeague final, which is today, later on today. And these 5 players will be participating in anticipation for the final. Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez, Ashley Young, Angel Di Maria, and Ander Herrera. Those are 5 players that used to play for Manchester United, were there in the final. But apparently, we want to sell those players because they weren't performing for Manchester United. Lukaku has like 33 goals this season. He's the reason why Inter Milan, along with Martinez, of course, is doing good in not only in the Serie A, which is finished, but in the EuroLeague. Romelu Lukaku, yes, fat Lukaku that was fat at Manchester United, but when he came to Inter Milan, could be based on the Italian food. He has shredded down and he's been playing well for Inter Milan. Ashley has been up in his game. Alexis Sanchez has been up in his game. You know what I'm saying? And Di Maria definitely has been an impactful player since 2015, when he left Manchester United in 2015. But I went on a long digression. But Diego Dolo needs to stay at Manchester United. Because if we sell this player, it's going to be one of those moments where Manchester United fans say, if only we kept him, he would have been a very good player for Manchester United, right? I mean, he's like one of the best right backs in the world right now. Because as relates to like attacking play and defensive display, Aaron Bissaka has the defensive display already locked down. As relates to attacking play, Diego Dolo has that. But in totality, none of them does have that. So where one is lacking, one uplifts. Where one uplifts, one is lacking. Aaron Bissaka is lacking in attacking display. Because when Aaron Bissaka is attacking, bro, I don't know if his feet has a feud with the football. But his foot doesn't click with the football when he's attacking. He looks he's like a fish out of water when he's attacking. He doesn't look comfortable with the ball at his feet when he's attacking. When Diego Dolo is attacking, he's more fluid, he's more comfortable, like the ball is his best friend. He attacks with confidence. The ball sticks to his feet with confidence. But when Diego Dolo is attacking, bro, that's where I say, oh, I wish Aaron Bissaka is there. Because Diego Dolo is not that good when he's defending. Wan-Bissaka is good when he's defending, but he's trash when he's attacking. Now both of them are young, so they have years to develop their game. You know what I'm saying? So they're not like a finished product. They're not a finished piece of mastery. They have time to develop their game. They're not they're not at the final jigsaw in their puzzle. They have time to get down and dirty and work on their game to improve their game as a player. Now I don't know if Diego Dolo is dating Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's daughter. If he has a daughter and he just doesn't approve of Diego Dolo dating his daughter, that's why he's not starting for Manchester United, because he's probably dating his daughter. But do they have to put those to the side, bro? It's all about who is the better player to serve for Manchester United. So if even if your daughter is dating this dude, but you don't approve of this dude dating your daughter, you have to just put that aside, bro, and start this dude in some game. Because you can't be starting Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who hasn't played for Manchester United since since Jose Mourinho was at Manchester United in 2016. Come on, brother. You need to start Diogo Dolo over Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Timothy Fosu-Mensah messed up somewhere in one of the two loans, either Crystal Palace or at Fulham. He messed up in his development. I don't think this dude should be I don't think he should be a Manchester United player for next season. No, I can be proven wrong. I've been proven wrong before. But I just don't think this dude is needed in the squad to continue with Manchester United next year. Nah. Mm-mm. Nah. No. You see, Daniel James. Yes, I'm going through a squad evaluation. Daniel James, I've been hearing people say we should sell Daniel James. No. We should not sell those types of players. Those players are squad efficient players. We need those players in the squad. No, I'm not saying those players should be starting, because when Daniel James is starting, it's like Daniel James looks like a 100-meter sprinter without no football IQ. That's what he looks like. And if he's not given space to exploit, he looks like he cannot play football any at all. That's what he looks like. If there's a high line at the byline in the center of the field, or in the center of midfield, if the defensive line is right there and I play the ball over the defensive line and then I tell Daniel James to chase after it like a dog with a bone, if run after, he's going to chase after that ball. He's going to chase after that ball because he has the pace. But as it relates to like breaking down teams like with a low block, a defensive low block, Daniel James is not that type of player. He doesn't have the IQ for that. That's way out of his depth. That's just out of that's not him. He can score a few goals, don't get me wrong. He can cross the ball a few times, don't get me wrong. But as it relates to his style of play on a daily, this is not the dude you should be starting. No. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. Keep him in the squad and he'll develop himself as a player. Well, no, I don't think he'll ever be a top right winger, but he, in his own right, can improve his game to where he can say, okay, I'm content with at least this type of performance, and he sticks with his performance. That's my take. My thing is that I think Mason Greenwood should be starting over Daniel James, but if uh Jadon Sancho comes to Manchester United, Mason Greenwood is shit out of luck. That's just my take. Daniel James, well, I believe he's third stringer if Jadon Sancho comes, but if Jadon Sancho comes, he's playing right wing. Jadon Sancho should be either be on the bench or playing as a centre forward when he's given the opportunity. That's my take. Now, I don't think the signing of Jadon Sancho will stagnate or plateau the performance and the development of Mason Greenwood. I don't believe so. Because again, Mason Greenwood can play left wing, but we don't want him to play left wing because he don't have the pace to play left wing. But we need him to play as a centre forward. He's a centre forward by birth and by rights. He needs to be playing centre forward, not on the wing. But he can play on the wing. But I'm saying if Jadon Sancho is signed for Manchester United next season, of course, this dude should not be starting in the Premier League as a right winger. No, 32 minutes. Okay, I'm going to wrap up in a few minutes. Understand this for me. Understand this for me. If Manchester United wants to win at least a trophy, because the last time they won a trophy was in 2017. In 2017, Manchester United needs to invest real big. They need to invest because the current squad they have, speaking of the current situation, the current squad that they have is not up to par to win in the Premier League. Yes, we have Bruno Fernandes. Yes, we have Paul Pogba. Yes, we have Anthony Martial. Yes. Oh, speaking of Anthony Martial, I believe Anthony Martial has been voted as the best player for Manchester United this season. So kudos and congrats to Anthony Martial. But I believe the investment in the squad needs to be invested real big because if we stay with this squad without tweaking the squad, without making improvements in the squad, then we're going to be a squad with squad players that's not good enough to win the Premier League with the squad that we have at the moment. So United needs to invest in signings, to invest in top players at centre back, at left back, on the right wing, and other players. Like Jack Grealish, I believe Jack Grealish is still a priority for Manchester United. And that's why I say we need a left winger because Marcus Rashford cannot be living on fringes and playing minimal performances, average performances as a left winger and be getting away with it game by game. He needs to be challenged. He needs to be pushed to the edge where his game is performed. Like he plays game very well. Don't get me wrong, Marcus Rashford, but there are times where he performs like I don't know if he wants to play football or no. It's not that he doesn't want to play football, but his performance is just he just needs to be challenged. That's my take. That's my take. I know this was a long rumble. I know this was a long, somewhat of a rant, but rants need to be said so that people can know that you mean what you say. Because Manchester United is on in the next 3 weeks. Manchester United will play, if not 4 weeks, because the first game was postponed, right? In the next 3 to 4 weeks, Manchester United will play their first match for the season. And up to this point, we haven't had a reason for signing new signings, like getting new players. And persons are like, oh, when are we going to get a couple signings? Oh, we need signings for next season. Oh, who are we going to sign? Oh, so we're going to wallow in pity for next season if we don't have signings for next season. Manchester United needs players for next season. Oh, I should have said this at first, but I know you guys will miss me, so I'm just going to put it out there. I was just speaking of 3 to 4 weeks. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, I won't be doing any videos until the next season start. No, the only time I'll do videos is when if there's a new news in Manchester United, like if there is something emerging from Manchester United as breaking news, like if there's been a signing, I'll be lining up to do a video on that signing. I'll just sing the praises of the signing, whether it's a bad signing or a good signing, time will tell. But I'll just say my piece on that piece of signing. That won't be like a 20-minute video, that would be like a 10-minute video at best. But I'm saying most of my videos would not well, this will be my last video as relates to like embargoed and prolonged videos like podcasts, because I want to have enough energy, because I'm a mere mortal being. I want to have enough energy to do videos for next season. So I'm just going to give myself a rest, a minimal vacation, so that I can, you know, resume the current situation at Manchester United, which is my starting uh saying in my video podcast. So I want to give myself some time so that I can rest my behind and settle and just chill until next season, and then I'll start. But my videos mainly based on the games that we are going to play, the preview, the match reaction, players that are performing, so forth. So again, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Um, yeah. So I holler you guys in the next video podcast. So that could be in a month's time or probably in 2 days' time if there is any sign for Manchester United. But keep your ears perked up. I'll holler you guys in the next video podcast when I can.